shear installed on my bench yesterday. I couldn't take it much longer. I had to get it bolted up. I didn't do a complete restoration on it, even though I wanted to. The condition of it, I thought it was just fine as it was. It's just got a little bit of minor wear, and the blades are sharp, and so I basically just cleaned it up, lubed it up, and I did have to do a little bit of cleaning up and painting on the bottom. So I don't know if it was connected to a wooden table at one time or whatever. I did some test cuts yesterday. This B1 model Beverly Shear is rated at 14 gauge, and the quickest thing that I had nearby me was this 14 gauge stainless steel, and I needed to clean up the sheet. It had a little bit of a leftover on it, so I went ahead and I trimmed it off. I think 14 gauge would probably relate to mild steel as potentially like 1/8 of an inch mild steel, because stainless of course is pretty hard stuff. So it went through that stainless no problem. I was careful with it because I was relatively new at it. I knew I was kind of pushing the boundary a little bit, but it cut great. So what I was going to do today, if you haven't thought much about these throatless shears, I thought I'd just do a quick little demo. This is a piece of 16 gauge mild steel, and I'm going to demonstrate cutting a straight line, hopefully, and then I'm going to take it around a pretty tight arc and bring it around anyway, show the flexibility that you get from a throatless shear. It really is a go-getter as far as cutting goes, and I'm happy to have it. And I'll let you see the edge of the metal when I'm done, to where you can see it. I suspect it requires a little bit of tapping, a little bit of dressing up with a hammer. Let me see here. I think I'm going to have to do this. I'm not going to be able to spin around, so I'm going to have to go straight and out to catch up on the radius. Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I never had one of these. I never got to use one of these in shop class. I just see a lot of the fab guys, the real fab guys, using these things. Matt Murray at Iron Trap Garage uses one extensively. And when I grow up, I want to be just like Matt. No. If you hadn't had a chance to look up Iron Trap Garage, and you happen to be into period hot rods, let me introduce you to Iron Trap Garage. Those guys, they make it happen in that shop. They pull cars out of the junkyard and they give them a second lease of life. It's amazing what they're able to accomplish, and it's timely. They get her done, which is the opposite of my pace most of the time. So I'm going around the corner. The corner is working out pretty good. Dress that up and I'd have a perfect radius. I need to get this mess out of my way because I can't do what I need to do. Just get it all out of my way. But these have been around for a really long time. I think I was doing a little bit of research on it a while back. I think that they came up with this design I don't know, maybe the 40s, 30s or 40s. Maybe before that. It's pretty rudimentary. But the thing about it is, you know, everybody copies this. Eastwood's got one, Harbor Freight, of course, got one. Bailey, real high dollar equipment maker. They make one that's based off of this design, and I almost bought one. I almost gave up and decided to buy a counterfeit, and I didn't. I thought, nah, that'll give me something to look for. And then, sure enough, I was at a swap meet and there it was. It was like we were meant to be together. So here we go. I think that's good enough of a demo. So yeah, it worked out pretty good, you know. Right, my line, let's just see how straight I kept that. Pretty good. I started drifting around here. That was when I was realizing that I couldn't make a turn. Then my round portion is good. It sweeps around, and we talked about how straight it is. It doesn't, so as you could probably guess, that stainless, it really warped up the edge. This is pretty flat. Very little dress up required to make this straight again. Yeah, that's good. So anyway, 16 gauge. This is again, this is a Beverly Shear B1. This is rated to go to 14. So little demo of some 16 gauge steel, mild steel. And anyway, so if you're out and about and you're looking for something like this, or you see something like this, you know, if you can get it for a decent price, I would grab it. I paid $280 for this, like I mentioned before. They retail about $900, and typically when you find them, you see them on the used market, they're wanting like $500-600, somewhere around there. So if you can get into it for half of that or better, you know, I mean, every deal is different, jump on it. You will use this thing more often. If you happen to be into metalworking, you'll use it more often than somebody else would, of course. But anyway, very handy piece of equipment. Pretty much a, you know, a got to have if you're going to be doing some metal work, some sheet metal work around the shop. So anyway, quick demo on that. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope you walked away with something from it.